have Heather Shover. Her website is www.myhealthtorch.com. She is a neuroacoustic sound practitioner, a functional medicine health coach. She offers those services, and an emotion code practitioner. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to her because I want her to give us some insight on what she does, when she does it, and the healing, and also her journey as to how she got to where she is right now. So Heather, thank you again for being here. I know I introduced you in the beginning, but your story, it really did impact me in a way. You just opened my eyes up to another form of healing, and I believed it. It wasn't that I was like, well, is this gonna work or not? It was even before I got on the table. You know, I really felt that it was beneficial to me and a lot of people, and so I'd be remiss not to have you on this show, especially to talk about wellness. So tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got started.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I love your food segment because I'm very passionate. Food is medicine, so
Yes.
That was beautiful information you shared. My journey is really one of awakening to my life purpose through a health crisis, and you may have a similar experience with your own. It took me going through a health crisis to realize why I'm here and what I'm here to do. And my life purpose is to teach and inspire healing in those who are suffering from chronic disease. But I didn't always know that was my life purpose. In fact, I thought for a while my life purpose was to be a partner in a commercial real estate firm here in Dallas.
Wow.
And that's what I did. And I thought I was a very healthy young woman until one day I woke up and realized I wasn't.
Wow.
And that changed everything. And so what I was going through, I used steroid creams for over 25 years to treat eczema. And, the eczema gets worse and worse over the years, and stronger creams were prescribed. And finally, I just woke up one day and said, I don't want to take medicine for the rest of my life, and this isn't healing the eczema. What's happening? I did some research, and I found a website called ITSAN, ITSAN.org. And it stands for International Topical Steroid Addiction Network. And as I was reading that, I thought, maybe I have an addiction to my steroid creams. Because that was their explanation, is for people with worsening eczema who get the stronger and stronger creams and it keeps getting worse. Whatever it was that caused my eczema at age 11, that was probably long gone.
Yeah.
That root cause was long gone. But then the topical steroids took over. And the concept is your body then craves it like a drug addiction. And it makes you put it on again, or the skin goes out of control. So you have to put it on to get some relief. And over the years, it's a stronger addiction. You need stronger creams.
Wow.
And so I thought, wow, maybe this is what I have.
It's kind of like being addicted to drugs or food.
It's a drug, right? And steroids can be life-saving. In fact, they actually saved my husband's life years later. So I went very anti-steroid, and then I said, okay, they saved his life. So there's a time and a place for it, but for a chronic use, you need to look at the root cause of it. And so what I learned through this website is you don't really know if you're addicted to it until you stop the creams.
Wow.
And see if you enter what they call topical steroid withdrawal. So I stopped the creams. I did all my research on it. I knew what might happen. And I started exhibiting all of those symptoms. And they started getting worse and worse. And it's a 1 to 3 year withdrawal process. It's a very excruciating condition.
Wow.
So many people who have this break out in, rash isn't even the right word. They look like third-degree burn patients.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter where they use the steroid creams because the skin is a single organ.
Right.
So you might use it only on your hands and break out head to toe in what looks like a third-degree burn. And people have to quit their jobs. They have to lay in bathtubs for hours upon hours just to get relief. They claw their skin in the middle of the night when they're sleeping, so they don't get good sleep. Their spouse has to tie their hands at night so they don't claw. It's a terrible process. And I knew going in that this might happen. And so both my arms turned bright red, very itchy, started having random inflammation throughout my body, sore elbows, painful wrists, started clawing my neck at night because it's a bone-deep itch that you can't even explain, I think, unless you've gone through this. And developed folliculitis on my legs and on my stomach, which is infected hair follicles. So it's like getting sores all over the body because it's a detox process. I didn't know it at the time, but your body's trying to detox because steroids suppress your immune response and your immune system. So once you stop them, your immune system wakes up and it says, whoa, 25 years of pathogens, viruses, bacteria that I wasn't really totally fighting, now I'm going to start fighting them.
Wow.
So it's a big detox process. I didn't know all this at the time. I just knew it was getting worse and worse. I stumbled upon the practice of functional medicine. And I found a functional medicine practitioner who also happened to be a chiropractor. And I came into her office and I said, I don't know what's happening to me, but there's something wrong. And so she looked at all my labs and she said, there's definitely something wrong. Your immune system is severely compromised. She said, your hormones are completely out of whack. And then she did a gut test and said I had SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth.
So what is functional?
So functional medicine is a very scientific and lab-driven approach to looking at the body, knowing that the body is not just isolated systems, but it's an entire holistic view of the body. So what you do with the gut is going to affect what happens to your skin. It's going to affect your hormones. Everything's related. You can't specialize and say, I have this one shoulder problem. Let me just fix it at the shoulder level, right? You have to look at the entire body. So it looks at the gut. It looks at all the detox pathways. Are your detox channels open so you can actually flush out all the toxins we're exposed to? Or are you just building up toxin every day?
Wow.
It looks at your hormones. It looks at the state of your digestion. It looks at everything, your immune system. And it identifies the deficiencies, vitamin, mineral deficiencies, and it identifies the imbalances. So it's a root cause approach because it's those deficiencies and imbalances, if left, that exhibit your symptoms and your conditions. If you fix it at the root level, the body heals itself. And that's the magic, is if you can tap into the infinite wisdom of the body, it's amazing the kind of healing that you can do.
Yeah.
You had kids, I had kids. Did you have any idea how to create that umbilical cord for your kids?
Never.
I had no idea. I couldn't tell you.
Right.
My body did, your body did. It's that same wisdom that we have to tap into and let it out so that we can heal from whatever it is that's imbalanced in us.
Wow, that is amazing.
It's empowering.
We had this conversation, and I think we got this deep. But it was so impactful. I still remember, I told you the other night, I said, I had this goodie bag, and I said, I'm not taking anything out of this because this is wealth here. All the cards, the business cards, and the different people that I spoke with that day, it was really eye-opening. And that was like, what 3 years after my cancer survival, and I'm still exploring, still digging. So tell us about the Neuroacoustic Sound Practitioner services that you offer, because I got on that table, and for that 15 minutes, I went to another place.
It's magic, and actually it's just physics that looks like magic, but it's amazing. This technology, aside from talking about my kids, this is the next favorite thing that I like to talk about.
Wow.
Is this sound work. Neuroacoustic Sound Therapy is the creation of Dr. Jeffrey Thompson. He's at the Center for Neuroacoustic Research in Carlsbad, California. I saw him on the HEAL documentary, HEAL, and it's phenomenal. And that documentary is about the power of the mind to heal the body. So he presented in this documentary along with Deepak Chopra, along with Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe Dispenza, like these leading names in holistic health and healing. And he was on there, and he was kind of the science guy with this science approach showing the impact of sound and frequency on the human body. And when I watched that, there was something that jumped out and just grabbed me at a soul level and said, you are to train under him. And it wasn't a matter of if or when or how, it was when am I going. And so I went to Carlsbad. I did some extensive training with him. He's mentoring me in my practice now. I talk to him at least twice a month.
Wow.
Which is amazing. I mean, he's been doing this for 35, 40 years now. He's a holistic practitioner. He's been healing with sound. He's also an early gifted musician, which is why he's been able to merge to music and frequency with the human body and create this.
That just gave me chills.
He's phenomenal. So, neuroacoustic sound therapy, what is this? Neuro, meaning brain and nervous system, and acoustic, meaning sound. How do we use sound and frequency and vibration to affect the brain and nervous system? Because the brain and nervous system tell the rest of the body what to do. That's central command.
Very simple.
It's that simple. So it involves a sound table, which is a massage table. It has speakers built into the bottom of it. And so the person lays on the sound table. Every single one of their trillions of cells is vibrating to these healing frequencies. And so for anyone who studies music or knows a lot about music, there's a law of resonance or a law of vibration. For example, this is the best way to describe it. If you have two guitars in the room, one over here and one over here, and you pluck the G string on this guitar, the G string on this guitar is going to vibrate. So when you pluck the G string here, it makes a sound. Those sound waves travel through the air. When it hits this G string, that G string says, ooh, that's my note. I'm going to dance back.
Wow.
That's law of vibration. How can we apply that to bringing healing to the human body? We can deliver a frequency that the human body says, that's the frequency of my liver when it's in a healthy state, and it's not in a healthy state. Let me bring it back up to this healthy state. Let me resonate it back up to this.
Oh my God.
It's phenomenal. And everything in the body resonates or vibrates at a different rate. Your liver vibrates different from your lungs, from your blood. Everything has its own frequency, right?
Yeah.
So the principal frequency that we find in neuroacoustic sound therapy is the frequency of your nervous system. So it's commonly understood that stress is behind at least 90% of our chronic disease,
Definitely.
if not more.
Yes.
I tend to think more. And stress is your nervous system. Your nervous system has two branches. It's a sympathetic stress response and the parasympathetic stress response. If you're in the sympathetic, you're executing a fight or flight stress response. That's the whole purpose of the sympathetic nervous system.
Okay.
We were designed to live in a stress response for about 30 seconds when we were chased by a tiger, and if you survive, your nervous system goes back to parasympathetic. That's how we were designed. Fast forward thousands of years, we're bombarded with stress. It's everywhere.
One thing after the other.
It's everything. And not only just emotional and time management and just fast living, but it's the stress of environmental toxins. It's in the air we breathe. It's in the food we eat. It's our depleted soils. We are bombarded by stress.
Yes.
What happens in a stress response? The energies that are normally going toward immune system, reproductive system, executive functioning, those energies get pulled from those systems and get poured into the stress response because it has to have energy to execute this physiological response to stress. Your blood pressure has to go up. Your blood sugar goes up. You start spilling out adrenaline and cortisol. Your body uses a lot of energy to execute a stress response. Where do you get the energy from? These other systems. Immune system, digestive, things that aren't critical during those 30 seconds of running from the tiger. But
Right.
now it's 24/7.
Right.
So what we need to do is take the nervous system out of the chronic stress loop. Break that loop and put the person back into a parasympathetic dominant state where digestion is appropriate, where the immune system has all the energy it needs to be a healthy immune system, where executive functioning is back again and you're not just running on pure emotion. How do we break that loop? Well, this is what Dr. Jeffrey Thompson has created. As you're laying on the sound table, there's speakers underneath. I'm watching on a computer monitor. I have sensors on your wrists, and I'm watching on a computer monitor the state of your nervous system. Through these sensors, it's pulling your heart rate variability data. It's putting this into the computer program, and it's showing me, are you in a sympathetic chronic stress response, which is blue, or are you in a parasympathetic state, which is green? Most people are in blue. And so I deliver a sound sweep through these speakers. They're wearing headphones and they're also feeling it in the speakers on the table. And it's very finely tuned frequencies while I'm watching real time their nervous system on the computer screen. And I watch for the exact note, the very finely tuned frequency that trips them from blue to green.
Wow.
That's their note. That's the fundamental frequency of their nervous system.
So the notes are, is it?
Well, it's A, B, C, D sharp. It's all of those.
Wow. So just like music notes.
It's a music note, and every note has a frequency. It's a number. So, for example, someone with a fundamental frequency of D minus 46 cents. So the D note, and I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head, the D note is 140.43 hertz, for example. Maybe D minus 46 is 138.792 hertz. So it's finely tuned. It's the exact frequency. Frequency meaning cycles per second, the speed of that note. It's the speed. How fast is it moving? This is energy. We can't see it. This is energy. How fast is that moving determines the note.
Okay.
It's different from it's different from Those are all different frequencies, different speeds. Which is the one that takes your nervous system into a state of optimization and parasympathetic dominance? That's what we find.
Wow.
And on the computer screen, the very note that takes you from blue to green is the note for your nervous system. And so then I create a custom soundtrack with that note. So it has that note, maybe it's so you hear that, and then I overlay primordial sounds of oceans and birds chirping and dolphins, all of that. And you experience that on the sound table for 30 minutes.
Wow.
So that's profound because when we are executing a stress response, our body's energies are automatically going to that stress response, cortisol, all of that, and away from immune system and all of these other things. So during those 30 minutes, we are redirecting all of your energies then back to where they need to be. They flood back into the systems they're meant to be in. And the body says, finally, I can work on my list of things that I need to heal and repair that I never get
Focus
to.
And immunity and all that stuff. Is
all of these
so
things. Because the stress response has to trump everything. Because you might be running from a tiger. It has to trump everything. Take the energies out, and then the body works on its list of things to heal. I don't know what that list is.
Yeah.
That person's body knows what it is.
So let me ask you, how long does that state last, or do you make a copy of the soundtrack and they buy it and they listen to it frequently, or
Great questions. So during those 30 minutes, you're in an optimized healing state, right? So the idea of this is you're going to listen to that soundtrack every day. It's like going to, Dr. Jeffrey Thompson explains it very well. You're going to a gym for your nervous system. So if you want a particular body type, and you're very far from that body type, you are going to the gym every day and you're doing your workout. At some point, you get that body type. And you can back off that workout. You just are in maintenance mode at that point.
Wow.
But until then, you're going to a gym and you're retraining. In this instance, you're retraining your nervous system to react in today's society of chronic stress.
That is amazing. So I guess at this point, what I would like to do on another show is have you to come in, have the sound table, either I or the guest can lay on the sound table and just experience it, even if it's just for just a few minutes. So that way the audience can see what it is, how it works. And you've explained how it works, but, some people like, oh, I'm laying on this table and it's vibrating and, people do weird things with the brain, I did it, everybody. I did it. I was perfectly fine. It only lasts 15 minutes, but that was the service that I purchased that day. And I woke up, I almost went into a deep sleep. I wasn't in a deep sleep. All I heard was oceans and birds and stuff. But the vibration was under the table. I could feel it, and it just felt like my whole body was vibrating, like somebody was actually shaking the table. But when I got up, I was like, oh, okay. I had a very good day that day. It was like, and I never did listen to it again. Like, I didn't get the soundtrack or anything, but for that 15 minutes, it really did make a difference for me.
It's powerful work. And at the same time, I entrain the brain using binaural beats to different states of brainwave healing.
Okay.
So someone comes for the first session, we entrain your brain while you're listening to your fundamental frequency that takes all the stress out of your body. We entrain your brain to delta frequencies, which is like the deepest level of sleep, which is physical body repair. We're telling your brain, go and work on the physical body right now.
Wow.
Or we entrain your brain to theta, which is like REM sleep. That's the brain state for REM. That's emotional healing. So during the theta session, we're saying, brain, go toward healing your emotional body. Let's bring up some past trauma and start bubbling this up. Or we take your brain to alpha and we say, brain, go to alpha frequencies, because that's when you're working on your mental body, negative self-talk, limiting beliefs. So it's a series of visits. It's powerful.
So what is the best way to contact you? I know I talked about, is it the www.myhealthtorch.com?
Myhealthtorch.com, exactly. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But all the services that I provide are explained in great detail on my website, because I want to empower people to know, what is this really doing for my body?
Yeah,
right?
Instead of just saying, hey, call me and sign up and pay your money, and then people are just kind of walking in blindly.
Right.
Well, I want to thank you again for coming on today. I think the audience back there, they're like, wow, their mouths are open, like, because this is something that we don't hear about every day. A lot of people are afraid of things that they don't know about, which is really sad. Because a lot of these healing methodologies were back in the day, back in the Bible days.
Oh, it's ancient.
There was no technology, so healing was from drums and, laying of hands and vibrations. And so, I mean, we don't know exactly what Jesus did. We heard about it, but it was a lot of laying of hands. You wonder what was going on. Was there some vibrational things going on?
And we can talk about that sometime, because our hands are bioelectric or electromagnetic, right? Go like this. I just affected your aura, right?
And I could feel it. I could feel it when you did that.
Yeah. And I can make certain arrangements with my hands on your meridians, and I can weaken your muscles, and I can run it the other way, and I can strengthen your muscle.
That's crazy.
So
but that's because
like
you know your power.
Well, it's not my power. You can do it too, because your hands are electromagnetic also.
Right.
You just need to know the techniques to use. So it looks like magic, right?
Yeah.
And there is a lot of, magic also and divine inspiration that comes through laying on hands as well, Reiki and all of that.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Well, thank you again. This has been like the best show ever.
Oh, well,
so we will have Heather Chopra back with the vibrational table, so we can do a demo of the Neuroacoustic Sound Healing. If anyone wants to be a guest and, come and lay on the table, you're welcome to do it, because I really want to just be there to, watch and explain to the audience what is happening, or you're welcome to bring someone along. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this is Let's Live Change, and my motto is be the change that you want to see. My name is Miss T Slash, and we are coming from GFN Radio. So thank you for joining, and I will see you next week.